Hello guys, it's Kasim. How you doing? I'm just having my cup of tea this morning. Anyways, so I wanted to talk to you about this Tinder Swindler. I'm sure you've all seen it. I'm sure you've heard about it. I'm sure you've seen an article in the papers about it. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about it. I watched it yesterday, and as I was watching it, I've made down some notes, and there was things that I was thinking about. I wanted to talk to you about them. I hope in some way they can help you in your own life. Maybe there might be something for you to think about. But before we get into that, if you want to help support me get to 1,000 subscribers by June, please can you like and subscribe to my channel? You'd be an absolute legend. Okay, cool. So I wrote down a number of things. Let me just smash through them and talk to you about them in the next kind of 10-15 minutes. Okay, firstly, the first thing that I wrote down is that obviously he is an anomaly. Okay, most guys have no bad intentions or shadow intentions, right? What this means is, I think most of us know pretty much if you have brothers, if you have had cousins, if you have had colleagues, most men are not bad men, okay? But there has to be an anomaly, right? There has to be dark aspects to life. Just like there are some women who, no matter what they do, they can never do any wrong, right? They can cheat on men, they can have multiple children with multiple men, whatever. Like there's men who also do the same, right? So I think one of the things that for me as Kasim, that's always important for me to always remember, and it's something that I would encourage you to think about in your own life, is don't focus on the anomalies, because anomalies are very, very, very rare and they're not the common path. And actually, I talk about this particularly for women because I've noticed that women more than men tend to focus on the anomaly. I found that because of the way men are raised and the fact that women are born with value and they have to preserve it, and men are born with no value and they have to create it, men hit reality a lot sooner than women do, right? And if you have had brothers in your family, you will know exactly what I'm talking about, right? When a girl is 18 years of age and she does something bad versus a boy who's exactly 18 and does something bad, the girl is like, oh, she's young, she's innocent, whereas the boy is immature, stupid, pathetic, right? So the world doesn't favor men when they're young. I say to men all the time that the world only cares about you when you either have a lot of money, right? Money or like social status, meaning like you're like a minister, you're like a local businessman or something like that, or you are good looking. Good looking classifies and goes into a category where you have you're fit, right? You you smell good, you look good, all of that kind of goes into that category. But essentially, the world doesn't care about you unless you're in one of those two categories as a man. You either like you're really good looking, you're fit, or you got a lot of money. When you have or social status, when you have one of them two things, the world will bend backwards and will start coming towards you. You will then start attracting women instead of you pursuing women. But that's a different topic altogether. But I just want to talk about that because I think that's really important. There's going to be a lot of you who's going to be like, well, men are trash and look how manipulative. No, this is an anomaly. This is one guy, okay? Oh, well, it's not just one guy. There's multiple. I'm sure there's hundreds or thousands of men who are exactly like him, who have that narcissistic sort of dark triad personality. But the majority of men are not like that. As men, we may have aspects of ourselves which are, of course, narcissistic or that are cold or that are manipulative, but the great majority of men don't operate their lives from that space. We just want to find love. We want to find someone who we can we can have regular sex with, who can love us, who we can have a stable relationship with. That's most guys. So I think it's really important that you don't forget that he is definitely an anomaly. The second thing that I was thinking about as I was watching this is that there is a gap in the market for an entrepreneur or somebody to bring people together. Because if you look, right, it's pretty evident, if you have been out in the dating market, it's pretty evident that people are finding it difficult to find mates. People are finding it really difficult to find people who genuinely want a great relationship, right? I've recognized that there are a lot of people who've recognized that they're gonna have to settle. Okay, they're not gonna be able to get a man who's like 6'2", is really athletic, a Chad basically has a lot of money, comes from a good family, has good character, because most women are going to go for that guy anyway, and that guy is probably going to be a cheater because he has multiple choices. There are lots of guys who realize they're not going to get the girl on the Instagram model because there are so many guys who are trying to go after her. So I think there's a lot of people, both men and women, who are very realistic in relationships and realize, you know what, I'm probably not going to get the peak. I'm probably not going to get the top shelf stuff. So I'm willing to settle for something less than. Here's a problem. Where do you find that today? So I say this to you because you may be watching this and you may be an entrepreneur. You may be somebody who is looking to add value into people's lives. There's a gap in the market for that. If you can find a way to bring people together, like, let me put it like this. Think of it like there's a program on Channel 4 on TV called First Dates. If you can find a way to do that, basically, to bring people, good people who want to just find relationships, they don't care about the guy having millions of pounds and they don't care about the girl being like a model. They just want somebody who is going to love them, who they can build a family with together. But bringing them together is going to be able to create an incredible amount of wealth for you if you can find a way to bridge these people together. 3, your online presence is your introduction today. Everybody Googles everybody else. I say this a lot more to younger men and people who want to succeed when I do life coaching and when I'm coaching leaders. Your online presence today is your introduction. It is your CV. So in the past, the way you got introduced to women, to people within, like how you would be introduced to people within the community is via word association, word of mouth. Somebody would say, oh, have you met my brother? Have you met my cousin? My cousin could be good for this job. Oh, we have a daughter and our daughter we think would work well with your son. That's how things used to work. Right? Word of mouth, reputation. That's why reputation used to matter so much. Today, and actually going back, that's why family reputation used to matter so much, and people didn't want their children to damage the reputation of the family because that was how the sort of the dating value was going to be determined, and the prospects value was going to be determined historically. But today, things have changed. Today, how you are valued, how your market value is determined initially is based on your online presence. Because women and men will Google their partner. We will Instagram them. We will Snapchat them. We will Twitter them. We will link them. We will Google their name and see what are they about? What are they interested in? So what I say to people is, you have... You have to be so careful about what you post online today because it's all building a picture of the kind of person that you are, right? So, for example, look, if you want to attract women who are really into who are into hiking, who are into open water swimming, guess what you're going to need to do? Open an Instagram account, make it private, but just post loads and loads of that stuff that you're involved in. If you want a woman who is a homely woman, guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to be the kind of man, your Instagram, your presence online is going to have to be the kind of, is going to have to be portrayed as though you're the kind of man who is homely, who is all about character, who is all about family. So most of your stuff online should be should be pictures of your family, should be family gatherings, things that you're passionate about. That's what they should be about. Because I tell you this because if you obviously watched this Tinder Swindler, the reason why certain women, it becomes very evident that certain women are attracted to a certain lifestyle. These women were all attracted to this guy because he was like his online presence was a certain way. They Googled him and he had a certain business. They looked over his Instagram and he had pictures of models, pictures of flying, pictures of private jets. So they were attracted to that. Right? If he had pictures of him and his family and him going camping, it would be a completely different woman who he would attract. So I'm saying to you, be very careful about the things that you share, the things that you post, because all of them are the way in which people are assessing your value and they're assessing whether you're a viable mate for them. But also, plays even more important when it comes to your career, because now employers are creating fake accounts and they're using them to Google and research and Instagram their potential their potential employees, so that they're careful, because today everybody's being cancelled. Like, reputation matters today. They don't want to bring certain people into an organization who are racist, who are have who are maybe bigots or misogynistic. They don't want to bring people like that into their organization, because it's going to cause them loads of problems in the media, right? You've heard all about the cancel culture today, so I wanted to say that because I think it's important. The other thing that I wrote down here is, if you go from the bottom to the top, or from 0 to 100, pay attention. Something isn't right. Life is good and bad. So I wrote that down because I was thinking that there's going to be a lot of you guys who, in life, you pretty much don't understand that if you are living a certain lifestyle, let's say your lifestyle is a 5, and you go from a 5 to living a 10 lifestyle, that is a very dramatic change. Meaning, if you're a woman who's a 5 and your lifestyle is 5, and let's say 5 is average, what's an average income in the UK? In the UK, the average income is about 30 grand. Give or take, it's about 30 grand. Okay? A 10 would be somebody who is earning somewhere over, I would say, 10 million pounds. Okay? 10 million pounds a year is what I would classify as 10. Right? So if you are going from a 5 to and dating a 10, something is not right, right? Because these are so far away from each other. They're such polar opposites that something isn't right, okay? And a lot of people tend to think that they're special, that they're valuable, that they are unique in some way. And you're supposed to think that because you are unique in some way. But extremes call for extremes. And you have to be really wary of extremes, right? Life has been set up in such a way that people can't go from nothing to everything. And so I keep telling this to people because it's so easy to be lured into that trap of thinking you're special, you're the only one, you're the anomaly. Most people are not the anomaly. That's why anomalies exist. Anomalies are there for a reason that anomalies exist, because most people are not anomalies. If everybody was an anomaly and everybody was special and everybody was unique and everybody was the one, then we would have no anomalies, right? In fact, the anomaly would be that being the opposite to that. So it's so important that you understand. And I say this particularly for women, because one of the things that I have learned about women is that a lot of women who I speak to, in fact, I would say the majority of women I speak to all say, yeah, but Kasim, I'm different. Yeah, but I'm not like all the other women. Yeah, but I don't behave like all the other women. Yeah, but Kasim, I don't do those things. Almost every woman I speak to says that to me. And it's like, well, all of you women can't all be special. You can't all be different to, like, I'm telling you, you can't all be. You can't all be as unique as what you think you are if I'm hearing every other woman say to me that she thinks she's unique, right? There has to be an average. There has to be a normal, right? And so, like, you can't, like, sometimes I hear women say, well, Kasim, I'm a 10. Well, I'm sorry, but most women think they're 10. How can every woman be a 10? That means we wouldn't have a scale then. We wouldn't have women who are zeros and women who are 10. But if every woman thinks that they're a 10, then 10 is absolute, right? So, and you know, I say this, and I don't want to go too much into this, because you do need to have confidence in yourself, and you do need to believe that you're valuable. But you need to understand where you sit. And if you have this really inflated sense of ego about your value and how you place, guess what? When you do attract somebody like the Tinder Swindler, what's going to end up happening is that they're going to completely wipe you out, because you have a deluded sense of the value that you hold, right? So life is supposed to be good and bad. So that means if you have, like I said earlier on, extremes call for extremes. If you have polar extremes, there's going to be opposites, okay? If you go from nothing to everything, something has to give, right? The law of cause and effect. Something has to give as a result. So that's, do you know what? Let me finish off with this, because I think this is really important. I wrote down here that people are so driven by narrative that you have to be really careful that you don't get trapped by it. I repeat, people are very driven by narrative, and you want to be very careful that you don't get trapped by it. So what I mean by that is that a lot of us guys in life we are living a narrative. So, for example, if your mum said to you, like when you were younger, she said to you that you're the bad child and her other daughter was always the good one and you were the rogue one, a lot of people will live out that narrative. They will live their life as though they are the bad child, and they will continue. They may not even be bad people or the bad child, but that's the narrative they bought into, and they've been living and operating their life from there. So they're always mavericks, they're always standing out, they're always doing things that are dramatic, they're always doing things that are out of the box, but that may not even be their personality. That may not actually be the essence of who they are at the core. And so I say this to you because some of you are so driven by the narrative that you're living from and the life arc that you're living from, that even if it is leading you down a dark path, you're going to continue going down it. So I guess the question that I pose to you is, what is the narrative that you're living down under? Are you living the Disney princess narrative? Because here's the thing, the Disney princess narrative has a price. Right? We've all seen Disney movies. There's always a bad guy. There's always something that happens to the princess. Her life is hell, right? If you are somebody who wants to be the hero in a movie, guess what? You want to be the Superman. You want to be the Batman. Guess what? You're going to have a heck of a lot of enemies. People are going to be wanting to destroy you all the time. So you want to really be careful about the life arc that you're living on and the narrative that you're living on. What is your life like? I guarantee you, if you look back at your life and you look at the decisions and you look at your life, you will be living a certain arc. Your life will be leading a certain way. Like when I was studying people who were suicidal, they would say these things. They're like, Kasim, I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to die. You know, Kasim, I feel like my life is leading to an end. You could see the way they were living, right? They would say like, I'm on a path of destruction. Like you could see their life leading a certain way. And I guess for you, that's just something for you to think about. But that's what I saw. I hope it helps you. I hope you find it valuable. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What did you think about it? Comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also remember, if you want to help me get to 1,000 subscribers by June, please like and subscribe to my channel. You would be an absolute legend. All right, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.